Hello, hi. So I've just realised that I think I'm the only speaker who's not really talking about my job or what I do, but for me to talk about what I'm passionate about in terms of work and social change, and I probably couldn't fit into 5 hours, so yeah, basically I thought I don't know if I've taken a more literal kind of route, but anyways. Okay. They're just greedy. They're just confused. They just don't know what they want. They're just sluts. I am what's referred to as bisexual. And I think being bisexual or bisexual as a sexual preference is like one of the most disrespected of all preferences, and I don't understand why people think it's different to make flyaway comments and jokes about someone being bisexual. I think it's just the same as making a joke or some comment about someone because they're gay or because they're of a certain race or a certain culture. I'm not attracted to somebody's gender. I'm attracted to and fall in love and turned on by someone's personality and what's inside them and who they actually are. So basically, I kind of feel like I'm not restricting myself in terms of any situation or any person that I happen to meet. That I'm basically saying that I can possibly fall in love with anyone or be attracted to anyone. And I've come across it lots of times, like in both the straight world and the queer scene or the queer world, that it's not really respected and it's not taken seriously, and I kind of feel like sometimes it's even complex to refer to myself as queer. I've actually had people be offended in the past because I've used those words. And of course, like, language in the Western world particularly is a really kind of tricky and fickle and potentially dangerous thing. You know, words that we use like gay, straight, girlfriend, boyfriend, employed, unemployed, all of these things have such weight. But bisexual people are often just, you know, oh, they just swing both ways, or they're like really casually, derogatively spoken about, and I personally have a huge problem with it. I don't know if it's slightly utopian of me, but I think it'd be amazing if everybody actually shared my opinion that you can fall in love and be attracted to anyone regardless of their gender, regardless of their sexual history. Like, for example, someone who might be considered to be a lesbian for most of their life might just happen to meet someone who happens to be a man who they happen to really connect with and fall in love with. That woman might then have a baby and get married and get a house, not necessarily with a white picket fence, but for them to do that, I've actually seen and experienced exclusion from particularly the queer scene, or the queer world, the queer community, which is almost like another family. Yeah, so, sorry, I just looked down at the clock they've got down there, it's really distracting. Yeah, so I think basically I'm kind of talking about changing an entire way of thinking about sexuality, and these kind of labels that we give ourselves are really important in terms of, we use them constantly as a social and cultural tool to assess and put people into categories, and also to define ourselves to other people. I personally think that that's a negative thing. Being queer or being different is a complex thing to live with already, and it's already hard enough. I don't think trying to fit into certain labels and categories actually helps that. I personally don't feel like I fit into any mould or any category. I'm not particularly gay, I'm not particularly straight, I'm not particularly butch, and I'm not particularly femme. Some days I might wear overalls and cut-off t-shirts, and other days you might find me in one of my beautiful vintage dresses. So basically, yeah, I guess it's an old notion, but one that's been lost in all of this talk about politically appropriate ways of talking about sex and gender and sexual preference. It's just, you know, about equality and each person being individual. And yeah, I think everyone should just be open to falling in love or being turned on by anyone. Thank you very much.